Good morning to all. Myself, Dr. TV Nagaraju. I am working as an Associate Professor, Department of IT, MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. Now, coming to the today's session. In this, we will discuss one of the most important keyword that is available in Java. That is final keyword. Here we will discuss what is a final keyword, in what places you are using final keyword. We will discuss with some example programs also. Remember, the main purpose of the final keyword is restrict the user. Suppose if some programming component is there, it is not allowed to use the programming component inside other class. What you need to do? So, such situations, that is a restriction of user for accessing some programming components, we are using the final keyword. Generally, this final keyword is applied to a variable. Final keyword is applied to a method and final keyword is applied to a class. Now, we will show all these three step by step. First one, if you are applying the final keyword for a variable, simply the variable becomes a constant. Simple term. If the final is applied to a variable, that variable becomes a constant. Suppose in C language, how to declare a constant? By using const keyword, we are creating a constant. If you are allowed to modify your program, it gives an error. Exactly. In Java, before a variable, if you use the keyword as the final, that is not possible to modify in your program. That is the first usage. Now, first I will explain all the uses and then coming to example once again. Second one, the final is applied to a method. What happened if we apply to a method? Assume we have some sample1 class there. It has some method m1. For example, now class sample2 extends sample1. Now you know the basic logic. Internally, because of extends keyword, the parent class members are available here. That means logically the m1 method is also available here. If you want, you can override the method. General point, if you are not required, simply you can use. Suppose if you want, you can override the method. You already know the concept of overriding and overloading. Override the method. This is the general scenario. Now, before the method, if you use the final keyword, then this method is available to the child class, but it is not possible to override like like variable. Before the variable, if you use the final, it is not possible to modify. Exactly, before the method, if you use final, it is not possible to modify. Modify in the sense where we modify in the child class. That modification is called overriding. Clear? Anyway, it is possible to use. Here you are allowed to use m1. That is not a problem. By using child class object, you can access m1. That is fine. But not allowed to change. That is the final method. Third one, the final is applied to a class. What happened? If the final is applied to a class, for that class, it is not possible for child class, that is any class, it is not possible to extend the final class. It is not possible to extend the final class. Clear the point? Now, see all these three with three example programs, then you will get some idea what happens. Now, class, first sample, assume we have one variable int some a is equal to 5, int some a is equal to 5, void display, just one sample program, system dot out dot println a is equal to, let's say, just I am printing the value of a. Now class demo final public static void main string args, create an object for the sample class, sample some ob is equal to new sample of ob dot display. So this is the normal program. Everyone know this program. What happened in this program? I have one variable a with the value 5. In the display method, I am printing the value, and in the main method, create an object and call this one. The value 5 is displayed. This is the perfect. Now coming to final. Before the variable, I used the keyword final. Anyway, not a problem. Here in this one, you are not modified anything. Check this one. Demo final dot java. Now first I am executing this program. Java C demo final dot java, one error, system dot out dot println. Okay, simple thing. S is small letter. Mistake here. Make S as a capital. Simple. Okay. Java space demo final. See a value 5, there is no problem. Why? Because even though you are using final keyword, but you are not changed any variable. Now consider the same within this one. Here I am trying to update the value of a. Even though a is the final, within some method, here I am trying to modify the value of a. Now execute. See this one. Cannot assign a value to final variable a plus plus a. Now you got it. If you want to make a variable as a constant, then use the final. Throughout the program, it is not possible to modify. Clear? Here I am trying to modify, but it gives an error. Why? Because that is the final variable. Clear? That is the first one. Now suppose remove this one. Here this is not required for me. Create one more class. Class sample1 extends sample. Class sample1 extends sample. Suppose here I am not required that values also. I am in child display. Here the values are also not required. Just to simple program. I am in parent display. I am in parent display. Class sample1. Close this one. Now observe my program here. What I am doing? Sample is in one class. Within this class, I have one method display. Fine. Sample1 is another class. Extends sample. That means this is the child class. Sample is the parent class. Within this one, I used the same method. Actually, this is called method overriding. You know the concept already. This is called method overriding. Anyway, you are creating an object for the child class. By using that object, I call the display. Now, which one is executed? Obviously, this is executed. Save. See. Okay, forgot to save. Save. Okay, Java space demo final See the output. I am in child display, that is executed successfully. Now, what is my program? In the parent class, before the method, I used final. Now, this method is not possible to override in the child, but here I am trying to override. If you are trying to override the method, then it gives an error. Now, if your program gives an error, means see this one, demo error. Display in sample 1 cannot override display in sample. Now you got the meaning. So this is the concept of final. Anyway, I used one word. Inheritance is possible, but modification is not possible. If you have any doubt, remove this one. See, you are getting the output. Anyway, I am creating an object for the child class. I created an object for the child class. Because of inheritance, the parent display is available to the child class. So that is the reason whatever information I written, that is printed. Inheritance is possible, but overriding is not possible. Overriding is not possible. That is the second usage of final. And at last, the final is applied to a class also. Before the class, if you use the final keyword, then this class is constant. It is not possible to extend the class. Extension in the sense, once we extend, we can write our own methods. But if it is the final class, means it is not possible to modify. So, see this example. Now you are getting some error. See, cannot inherit from final sample. Cannot inherit from final sample. Clear? This is the concept of final keyword. Now you understand? Final is applied to a variable. Final is applied to a method. Final is applied to a class. Simply remember, final is applied to a variable, not possible to change. Not possible to change. Final is applied to a method, not possible to override. Final is applied to a method, applied to a class, not inherited. Not inherited. This is the final keyword. And one more point is there. Whenever you are coming to final, the final is not applied to constructor. Final is not applied to constructor. Suppose consider one more example. In my program, I declare a variable final int a without any initialization. How do we do initialization? Remember, if your variable at the time of declaration, if you are not assigned any value, you can provide the declaration by using constructor only. Okay, again I am repeating, your program consists of a final variable. Suppose class sample. Within this one, I declared one variable a. This value is not changed, that is okay. But where is the value? So, compulsory you need to create a constructor. Within this constructor, you are allowed to assign the value. Why? Whenever an object is created, first constructor is executed. Once that constructor is executed, the value is assigned. From that onwards, it is not possible to modify. Anyway, if you want to access any method, before accessing the method also, you need to create an object. Whenever you are creating an object, constructor is executed automatically. This is the only procedure for uninitialized final variable, but here the variable is non-static variable. If the variable is non-static variable, suppose if the variable is static variable, then how do we do initialization? By using this one. What is this one? Static block. By using static block. Why? Because in your program the first executable block is static block. The entire program, who has the highest priority? Entire Java static block has the highest priority. So first static block is executed. So first that is executed, the value is initialized, and after static block only remaining all are executed. In the remaining you are not allowed to modify the value. Okay. In the instance means non-static means through constructor, static variables means through static block. When if you are uninitialized the variable at the time of declaration. Anyway, if you are giving the declaration, no need of constructor and no need of static block. This is the uses of final keyword. Thank you very much.